if they're separate or together, I don't see that one flying with the judge.
Well, I think it actually could fly with the judge. Here's why. To say that it is more important for us to be economical with resources to try these two, and that freedom that could result or lack of it because of all the press, to me is a weaker or the weakest argument, because freedom is priceless. Government's ability to be economical with a prosecution, come on, man, that does not carry any weight with me. However, to answer your question directly, the judge realizes from just historical study of high-profile cases that the case is often first tried in the press. The government does this on purpose. Do this because they'll put in the evidence right now in this media, evidence that will never withstand or the scrubbing of procedure and case law and rules as to what is credible evidence and what is not. And so as a result, you will get a lot of jurors who will hear inflammatory comments that now have made up their mind based on their life experience. And you've now just increased the length of the trial because you have to go to so many more jurors to try and find the 2, 3, or 5, in this case it's usually 12, who have been living under a rock or in a cave and have no idea about this case in any way. Now that's a waste of time and judicial economy if the prosecutors and the government were really caring about that.
The Idaho statute is basically lays it out. What does it need to? What needs to happen for them to be joined? Defendants can be joined if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction, or if the set of acts or transactions constituting an offense or offenses, all of the defendants need to be charged in each count. The issue here is that Lori is not charged with the same counts as Chad. She's a conspirator to the charges that he's facing. Parwana, I know she doesn't want to fight the joiner, but doesn't she have the better argument to fight it if indeed she did want to?
I'm not sure if she has a better argument to fight it. They are both, I believe, charged with at least 2 of the same counts. I know he is charged with conspiracy to conceal or alter evidence, 2 counts of that, and then 2 counts of just concealing or altering or destroying evidence. She's charged, I believe, in those
with just
counts.
The conspiracy. And then, she's only charged with the conspiracy. He's the one that they're saying took the bodies and buried them in his backyard, and she is a conspirator. They're facing much different. What he is being charged with is taking 2 children and burying them in his backyard, and she's not.
Right.
That's very different.
Right. So I think that's the main reason why her attorney would not want to object to this joinder motion, because that evidence, the remains being found on his property, and the attorney's desire to point the finger and say, okay, this evidence does not apply to my client, it applies to Chad Daybell. And for that reason, I think she has an interest in keeping the trials together so all of that evidence can come out, and the attorney would have a strong argument throughout the trial to continue pointing the finger at Chad Daybell,
who's sitting next to her. Chad and Lori haven't been together in a while. Last time they spoke, as far as we know, was when Chad's backyard was being dug up by the FBI and she was in jail in Madison County, and she called just to say hi. Take a listen.
Hi, Dad. Hello. Are you okay?
So there's section 3 property.
The house there?
Yeah. So, Mark Mills will be talking to you.
Okay.
Joseph, how difficult is it to work with another attorney, having another, not that you're working with them, but if you have another client, another defendant at the table and another attorney at the table, it can be cumbersome at trial, can it not?
It's very. I have worked in both co-defendant cases, which means there are a lot of other defendants and their lawyers go with it. And I've also worked on team not only defendant, but we had a lot of lawyers on that case, a number of high-profile cases. And it makes it very difficult because of the different schools of thought as to strategy. When I defended the gentleman who was accused of killing Michael Jackson,
Conrad Murray,
there was a huge division in our team as to not only the proper ethical and strategic way to defend him, so much so that I had to file court to get off the case because I refused to participate in the way and the types of decisions that were being made. So
you didn't agree with those Texans.
Well, actually, it wasn't Texans so much, but let's just leave it at that. I didn't agree with some of the decisions and the strategy, and we'll just leave it at that for now. But to answer your question, yes, again, like there's going to be some problems with the strategy. And I can see where one, if I was representing Chad, how I might want to be different. Separate trial. Here's why. If you look at the two in trial or when they're in court, it's one thing when you look at Chad. Okay, we've seen plenty of people accused of some terrible things over the years and either look the part or they don't. We do all that analysis when we see them. But there's a weird energy that comes when you look at Lori. And it's not that she's different or mean. It's because she is being accused of being a mother who killed her children in order to be with a new man whose wife now is dead as well and the kid's buried in his backyard. That takes on a whole different feeling for us. We look at her as a villain, as a terrible, terrible person. And so if I'm Chad, and his lawyer anyway, I'm saying, look, we do not want to go to trial with her because that's going to be in the room and on jurors' minds, and we don't need that because it looks like we are really strong on the lack of evidence the government has and the charges that they currently have. And if we're by ourselves, this is going to work out so much better.
Yeah, stay away from Lori Vallow. Good advice, I suppose, in the courtroom. We're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll have more with the panel. A reminder, this Saturday, Court TV presents The Doomsday Couple, an in-depth look at the story of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. It would be